So, I've currently got two thoughts running through my head right now. The first of which being, what in God's name am I going to end up using for the background picture of this video since they're not doing the title cards anymore? Which admittedly occurred to me at the end of last season, but I'll figure something out, I'm sure. And secondly, the doctor did pretty good, and everything went pretty well. When my main concern right now is, what the flying hell was with that ending? What the, I, what happened? Seriously, I mean, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get on with the basic intro. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Immortal Cave and SamuTrust.blogspot.ca. Put a link to my blog in the description as usual. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, new Doctor, new season, Series 8. It's been 8 months. Finally. And merciful crap. I have been waiting for this for so damn long. Uh, I, and of course, I find out that my schedule, I'm working that day. God bless the fact that the theater was having that. Which, by the way, first of all, there was more than a few people dressed up in that theater. And I like that. That was actually pretty cool. It was a really cool environment. A couple of my friends were there. It was cool. It was a really cool environment. It was neat. It was nerdy. I loved it. But that was really fun, actually. That was a really fun, unique environment that I've never really been to. I don't go to conventions or anime things or anything like that. So it was really neat. First of all. Second of all, excuse me, the before the before video, the before episode thing that they had for the theater specifically was Strax describing each of the doctors, and it was pretty funny, but it wasn't anything really to to, to take home about, to talk home about, to send a message. I can't think of what the term is, and I feel like an idiot because I can't remember it. Nothing to write home about. There we go. That took me longer than it should have. Anyway, um, it was entertaining though. If you can find it online, go watch it. It's cool. Um, and I also had some behind the scenes stuff at the end, but it was nothing spectacular. Again, it was just kind of like, here's something neat. Um, that was a really cool episode though. I actually have to admit, in terms of season beginners and in terms of definitely in terms of first episodes for doctors, that was a big one. Um, where do I even start? Okay, spoilers abroad. I don't even need to say it, but I'm going to. Spoilers abroad. There's spoilers coming in. Blah 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 blah. You all know the gist by this point. I'm going to spoil it rotten. Um, yeah, dinosaur appears in London because the we're probably crashing part at the end of that. Yeah, they crashed straight into the mouth of a T-Rex, who then they tried to head into London, apparently. I think the doctor is still a little bit confused at that point. Teleports into London. Yeah, there's a T-Rex for about a good fifth of the episode, till it spontaneously combusts, which was admittedly kind of strange, but whatever. Um, at the time, it certainly was. Um, but I know what everybody wants to hear about. Nobody wants to hear about the story, though I will say the return of the clockwork robots from uh, A Girl in the Fireplace, or whatever the hell that episode was called, was really nice. And the fact that they actually referenced it a lot. That was really neat, actually. Um, yeah. So let's get into the one thing I really want to talk about, which is the fact that Matt Smith is in the episode. The 11th Doctor is in the episode. Do you remember when he regenerated and he was walking up from the bottom of the TARDIS? He made a phone call to Clara, basically explaining, like, just stick with this guy. He's scared out of his goddamn mind, blah, 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 blah. It was a really nice moment. It was kind of a passing of the torch, which I had never seen before with the Doctors, which was nice. I actually really enjoyed that. Also, it was kind of nice just as a fan to see Matt one last time before going into the new Doctor headlong, I should say. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna just dive straight into the elephant in the room here, which is the 12th Doctor. How is he? Well, we didn't really get that much of a good example because about half the episode he's still half delusional from regenerating. Sort of, I think. It's kind of hard to tell with doctors in this regeneration sickness, I want to call it. Because the 10th was out for about 90% of his episode. Excuse me. And I don't think the 11th ever really got over his, which is part of why I really like the 11th Doctor, but that's beside the point. The 12th was half delusional for the first chunk of the episode, which led to a couple good laughs. Um, but how is he? So far, at least. He's actually a lot better than I was expecting. I think it's another one of those cases of they're kind of overinflating what I think is going to happen, and I kind of get carried away with it too. Now, I made that whole huge rant on my blog site about, is the Doctor going to be too dark? Is he going to be too serious? Is he going to be blah, 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 which ended up just me ranting about The Last of Us for a while. Which is a good game, but that's beside the point. Well, a good game with a... that's a tangent for another day. Yeah, is he too dark? Not really. He's still the Doctor. It's still Doctor Who. It's a tonal change, definitely, but it's not a massive tonal change. Do I like the new tone? Do I like how everything's going? I'll say this right now. This is my favorite. Well, I'll say this right now that this is one of my favorite seasonal openers. I won't say it's my favorite because there's some big shoes to fill with that one. Most notably, the Impossible Astronaut two-parter, which was awesome. The 11th Hour, which was awesome. Silent Night Alex was really good, though most of the time I usually think of Bells of St. John for the season opener for that one, because again, I kind of count those 5 episodes as to be like a mini kind of series. But anyway, where was I? Right. And not to mention the fact that I just saw it, so I'm still kind of like in hype mode. But did I like it? Hell yes. I think it was a very good start. It kind of took a cross between the 11th and the 10th Doctor's openers. In the sense that there was a lot of the Doctor, but there also wasn't at first. Like, he spent a little bit in bed, but not nearly as much as David Tennant did. Whereas the 10th, we got maybe, being generous, I'll say 15 minutes of. Whereas Matt Smith was the entire episode. They kind of split the difference, and I think it actually worked really well. In the sense that he was half delusional. The first chunk of the episode, he was in bed for a little bit. But then, that was about the first maybe 15, 20 episodes. 20 episodes. The first 15, 20 minutes of it were him being kind of loopy and whatnot. And they ended up getting over it fairly quickly, so. But when he did start showing up, he had a lot of really good lines. He is coming off as this very kind of... He's very serious, but at the same time, he's not exactly stuck in that mode. How do I even word this? It's kind of weird. I was hoping it was going to be played off as kind of like the super straight man. Whereas if anything goofy would happen, like, a lot of goofy things would happen around him, he'd just be like, what in God's name is going... The Mo of the group, if you will. The serious one. The Mo, where Mo in the Stooges was kind of like the... Everyone else is an idiot but me, straight man kind of deal. And he does play that off a little bit, but not as much as I was expecting. He still did play it off, though. And there are still a lot of good, serious moments, and a good emotional moment. So, when Clara wasn't certain about whether she was going to stick with him, she went outside of the TARDIS, and he looked genuinely very, like, devastated by it. You know, full credit to Capaldi. He's a very good actor. Because he just looked like, how do I even describe it? Like a guy who just lost his puppy. It was actually very sad. So I love that. Um, I think a lot of the darkness and a lot of the super serious stuff is a bit exaggerated. Kind of like how it was with season 7 first started, and they showed that who destroyed all the Daleks scene. It's exaggerated, but it is still there. Now, do I like the Doctor so far? Yeah, he's pretty good. You know, I could see him being one of my favorites. I can't see him eclipsing Smith anytime soon, but that's just because of the fact that I am a big Matt Smith's man. Smith's man? Smith. This is why I usually just watch it on TV, because my brain is still buzzing and everything, and I'm not half asleep, also, from just going into a theater and then coming back. Anyway, I am a huge Matt Smith fan, and the 11th Doctor is always going to be one of my favorites. I won't say that it's not possible that another one could come along, and I would love him a lot more. But I don't know. It's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen with this Doctor, though I do like this Doctor quite a bit. He could easily be my second favorite, I would say. And I should probably just get to this right now. The ending. The ending is very strange. The clockwork robots mentioned quite a few times this thing about like the paradise or the chosen land or the promised land or something Sephiroth called the promised land in Final Fantasy VII. Like just one of those titles. Promised land, the glorious land, heaven, whatever. And the lead one that's kind of like half. It's a clockwork robot, but he's trying to turn himself into a human. I'm going to refer to him as a meat robot, if everyone's okay with that. This meat robot does die at the end of the episode. It's left ambiguous as to whether the Doctor killed him or whether he just fell out of this like giant floating meat skin balloon thing. It was actually fairly creepy when you think about it, but that's aside the point. Long story short, he fell out of a balloon and died. It's left ambiguous whether the Doctor did it or whether he did it himself, which I like that. It does leave some darkness to the Doctor, but it also showed a lot of his sensitive side, so it's a debate. Nonetheless, after he dies, after the Doctor leaves with Clara, there's a scene in which the robot wakes back up in a beautiful garden, is greeted by a character named Missy, who seems to know the Doctor quite a bit. Mentions like, I like his new accent or whatever. Proclaims the place as heaven, dances around, and then the credits hit. What? Seriously, what the hell was that? If they're doing like a David Tennant style storyline for this one, meaning that it's going to be very subtle hints dropped instead of, while season 6 is my favorite season, the storyline of it was kind of pounded into your face. Not that I was complaining. Again, season 6 is my favorite season for a reason. But, I'm kind of left just confused by that. Because he's clearly dead. I mean, he's a robot. He could probably just been rebuilt for all I know. Though, who the hell is this Missy character? I kind of thought it might have been like the Ronnie for a second, or maybe River somehow regenerated again, or what was another one I had? I thought it might have been another doctor, and they were gonna have like two doctors going at the same time, like somehow a female regeneration of the doctor that was also going around at the same time, and I don't know what I was thinking about that one, but that's aside the point. Um, what are my general thoughts on this episode? This start of a new era, the start of Series 8. I think it's pretty damn good. It was a very good start to the series. It has me very interested in where things are going to go. But at the same time, I'm so curious about what's going to happen. Not just with the Doctor, not just with Clara, who had a very interesting... That reminds me of one more thing I'm going to get into in a second. Not just Clara, not just the Doctor, not just this Missy character, but just what's going to happen. Because everything has me very curious. And the fact that the next episode is called Into the Dalek doesn't hurt. The fact that they're going straight to the Daleks. Not complaining. I like that. Let's get the Daleks out of the way. After that, though, we have that, and we do have the full list of episode names, by the way. We've got some very interesting episodes coming. I think the third episode is something like Robots of Sherwood, and the fourth episode is, I think, called Listen. I'm very curious about all of this. And I'm very intrigued where everything's going to go. Now, what I remembered was how's Clara and how are the Paternoster gang? How are Foster, Jenny, and Strax? Strax is hilarious as always. I don't think I need to say that. He whiffs Clara in the face with a newspaper. It was kind of awesome. It was very funny. Foster and Jenny actually got a couple of laughs out of me, too. As well, I like the fact that their relationship is they're showing more of that, too. I like these three so much. I really, really wish that either Moffat or somebody, excuse me for a second, or somebody would just say, screw it, just cut the crap and just make a series about them. Or for that matter, that River Song Captain Jack Harkness spin-off they've been thinking about. Either one would be good. Anyway. Yeah, they're all awesome. How's Clara doing in this? She's very reluctant. And I have to admit, I'm half and half on whether I like why. She doesn't like the change in the Doctor. She doesn't like the fact that he's a lot older. And I realize that the companions are supposed to be kind of the representation of us. And when they have a problem, it's supposed to be kind of translated. What this is supposed to be is the fact that because the last few Doctors have been very young, trying to get people accustomed to the fact that there's an older Doctor now. And I like that. I like the fact that they actually did that. I like the fact that, again, Matt Smith actually appeared and had a passing the torch moment. That was very good. I'm just, like I said, I'm mesmerized by this whole thing. I'm very intrigued where this is going to go. This could very well end up being one of my favorite seasons, if it sticks to this quality. We know it rarely ever does. We probably might have something better. We very well will have something worse, but that's just natural. That's just natural for any television series. There's going to be bad episodes. There's going to be good episodes. It always happens. For instance, I'm thinking of an episode last season. What was it? Hyde. Good episode. I still think they kind of botched it a little bit now that I think about it. Like now that I've had some time to kind of think about that episode, but that again, I'm running off the tracks. Anyway, like I said, the next episode is called Into the Dalek. Of course, I'm excited because Daleks are awesome. Enough said. Anyway, uh, because of my work schedule and the fact that I don't have whether I'm on Saturday or not, or whether I'm on late Saturday or not, I don't know whether I'm actually going to catch that episode. If not, I'll try my damnedest to catch that episode via like late night runnings or whatever. But worst case scenario, if I absolutely cannot catch an episode, then I will likely just wait until the actual DVD for the season is out and then review it then. So if I don't have a review up next week, that's why. And I'm going to try and keep up with this as much as possible. I have heard that aside from the hints, they're going to try and stick as much as possible to singular episodes, kind of like like the David Tennant seasons, where it was every episode was individual, but they had hints, which I admittedly would like to see a hint about what the hell is going on, but well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Immortal K. I shall see you hopefully next week with Into the Dalek. Have a good night, guys. Also, the new intro is awesome. Just saying. Anyway, have a good night, guys.